Having arrived at my home, Tledenko, the plateau by the Chilcotin River, Tailko, I've had a lot of time to think and to absorb what's happening, and as a lot of us are. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to be present with a vast landscape and a vast land, as you can see behind me, as well as a river. However, what is also behind me is fog. And it almost seems like that fog resembles the type of uncertainty that we live in now. And we're going day by day, not really knowing how the next day is gonna be, not really knowing how many numbers are gonna keep rising that are also infected and passing away from COVID-19. These are just observations that I've been thinking about for the past few days and past week since coming back home. You know, I want to get back to the fog behind me and how it is almost uncertain, right? The fog obscuring our view, a view that maybe we're so used to seeing. However, I feel like every single day we've almost been not wanting to confront uncertainty. And now, in the moment of such heightened uncertainty that we are now having to deal with all of this uncertainty coming to the surface, not only the uncertainty of the virus and how that's affecting ourselves, our children, our uncles, our aunts, our parents, our grandparents, our neighborhood, our country, our world, but also the uncertainty of all of these suppressed traumas that we go through every single day, not wanting to confront because we got to go to work. Oh, I'll worry about that later. Oh, I'll worry about this later. I got to worry about this. I got to worry about this first. I got to worry about this first. And now it seems like in the face of all of this, what the virus is bringing out, it seems to me that we're finally seeing what really means the most to our lives. Is it the job that we go to every single day? Is it the car that we're driving? Is it the status that we're trying to uphold? Are all of these things really as worth the amount that we think they are? Or is it the well-being of ourselves, our family, the most vulnerable in our societies? And even money. Is money even getting to be worth what we think it is? You know, for me, money just seems like a middleman, right? It just seems to be something you need to get what's necessary. And coming out here and being on the land, that's really, really come home to me in a sense, literally and figuratively, that the most important aspects of our lives is the health and well-being of ourselves, who's around us, our community. And it seems to me that this is an opportunity not only to confront the uncertainties that are now in front of us, that was once now behind us, and it's come in front of us. This is also an opportunity to think about new ways of structuring our society. Do we really believe in our elected leaders in a time of crisis like this? Do we have trust in institutions to take care of ourselves, our families, our communities, and our nations? Have they always taken care of us? And why would they make that priority now? I think of COVID-19 and all of the elders that may suffer from it. But I also think of how this capitalistic system throws away elders once they reach 65 years of age. 65 years to our leaders, to this capitalistic system that essentially controls the way our countries work, they see these people who are 65, they can't contribute to the economy. They can't be working, productive people, right? So in these Western societies, we throw them away. We throw our elders away into care homes so we don't have to deal with them because we have to work. Or I would like to take care of my parents, but I have to work. I have all of this stuff to do. But now it seems like in the face of what's happening, we actually, as a community on a macro scale and on a micro scale, truly care about our elders and our parents and our grandparents. So then why have we been accepting this system that casts them away for so long? So then why have we accepted this system that makes us work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, extracting resources, exploiting the vulnerable, exploiting our natural resources, exploiting ourselves just so we can have food for the table for our kids and our families? I hope this can be a great opportunity, and I see so many communities coming together. Not only my community, but communities in big cities, in New York, Vancouver, Los Angeles, just to name the very few, that so many people are coming together and talking about what really matters in their lives. Is it the rent that we pay? Can we just say, hey, no, we don't want to pay rent? Can a collective of people say, hey, rent isn't a priority right now? Then can that collective of people grow? Can that become an entire community that says, you know what, we really don't think rent is a priority right now when there's a global pandemic? And can we get used to this new reality that we can actually be molding in real time a world that we want to be a part of, a world that we want to live in, a world that we want to grow old in? To us, millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Zers, whatever Gen it is, we are going to be growing old, right? Do we want to be a part of a system that casts us away, that throws us to the side, that says we're not productive people of the economy? We now have the power to construct that type of society that values everybody, not only people, but our nature that we exploit. And I see the biggest fog that we haven't walked through yet is the uncertainty of death, is the uncertainty of dying. We don't want to die. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to think about it. I got to go to work. I got to focus on the real stuff that matters. I can't think about dying. I can't think about death. I don't want to die. What if that fear and uncertainty can be taken advantage of by the power structures, right? Not saying they are, but in the past they have been. You know, I think coming to terms with the fog that we're trying to walk through every single day, that we're saying, I can't worry about this fog right now. I can't worry about me dying. That is now shot up to the surface, and we can't get away from it. This fear of dying. In reality, dying is just the same as being born, right? There's nothing different. The crest of a wave can't happen without the trough of a wave. We can't have black without white. We can't have existence without non-existence. And so for me, lately, I've been trying to figure out what that means, dying. Coming to terms with it, accepting it. And for me, that's brought me a lot of happiness and a lot of content. And now I see how so many, not even power structures like governments, but power structures like advertising companies, how they use our fears to try to get us to buy stuff that we don't even need. They try to say we're ugly and then sell us things to make us think that we're beautiful. They try to say that we're not good enough because we don't drive this car, so we're going to show you this bright blue shiny car that you're going to need. All of these fears that once you accept that there's fog all around us all the time, that fog starts to disappear. And with it, all of the other uncertainties of life. I hope that we can craft a new society. And I hope social distancing, the word social distancing, I was talking to one of my friends. Social distancing is a very human-centered term. Social distancing. We're social distancing from, let's say, from people, but we're not social distancing from trees, from our forests, from our rivers, from flowers, from the grass. Hey, those conversations have not stopped, and I hope they don't stop. And I hope they start to begin. I hope that we can start talking to the trees. I hope that we can start talking to the flowers and plants. I hope that we can give gratitude to the waters that feed us and replenish us. I hope that we can give gratitude to the trees to make us breathe and be calm in times like these. So I want to kind of change that term, social distancing, to perhaps temporary physical distancing. Something like, I know that's not as sexy, but the vocabulary that we use is a part of crafting the society that we want to see. And I think this is a beautiful time to start talking with our neighbors. To start saying, hey, man, I don't have enough money to pay rent. Do you have enough money to pay rent? No, I don't. Huh, all right. Let's find other people who can't really pay rent right now. Let's go to our landlord, or let's go to whoever manages that and just say, hey, we can't do it. If enough people do that, that cascade will happen. That wave will be felt through the entire system. If enough of us say, hey, we don't want to live in a society that exploits the vulnerable, that casts away our old people, that doesn't care about our young people, then we can make it. Anyways, these are just a couple of thoughts overlooking some fog on top of a once sand duned area. At once this was lifeless in the sense of our perspective of just all sand. And yet, over time, life always finds a way. And I hope in these times we realize that not only will we persevere, but also that life is impermanent in itself, that we will once pass away, and we will pass away. And so we need to hold on to what we really think is most important in our lives and keep holding on to that. And not let the middlemen of this economic society get in the way of who we feel is important to us. So Chanel, I hope you guys can walk outside, breathe in the air that the trees allow us to breathe in. Go to a creek, talk to the creek, thank the creek. Start expanding your social circle. Make your social circle bigger than humans. Anyway, see you later.